last story is from Kenya, where more than 50 people are dead, not because of disease, not because they met with an accident, not even because of a natural calamity or war. These people died due to starvation. Again, not because food was not available, but because they chose to starve themselves, not out of free will. These were followers of a cult, and their preacher told them to starve to death to meet Jesus. It's disturbing. And here's the really scary part. An 800-acre area woodland has been declared a crime scene. And authorities say the number of people dead could be much higher than what they've revealed right now. Here's a report.
Do you want to meet Jesus? A Kenyan cult knows the way. All you need to do is starve to death. Authorities in Kenya's coastal town of Malindi have a lot on their hands. Their priority right now is digging up dead bodies. It's all part of a larger investigation into a religious cult, one which has already claimed 51 lives. It all started last week in the Kilifi County. Police rescued 15 cult members of the Good News International Church. They were all starving and admitted that they were told to starve to death. 4 of the people who were rescued died while on their way to the hospital.
Information received is that the people there were being starved after being radicalized by a certain member of a church who told them that their work in this world is done and that they are waiting for, they should die and go and see their creator. So far, the information at hand is that there are more people who are believed to be in the bush.
In the days that have followed, the death toll has gone up to 51, all members of the same cult, a cult led by this man. He's Paul Mackenzie Nthinge, leader of the Good News International Church. He convinced several of his followers that the only way to meet Jesus Christ was to starve to death. Mackenzie has been arrested and has refused to eat or drink while in police custody. There is no free will at play here, also no religiosity. What's happening in Kenya is the textbook definition of blind faith laced with radicalism, which is perhaps why Kenya's president has likened cult leaders to terrorists.
Terrorists use religion to advance their heinous acts. People like Mr. Mackenzie are using religion to do exactly the same thing.
Another reason why the cult's actions are supremely criminal is this. Children are being starved and suffocated by their parents, all because the church leader told the parents to do so.
We have visited some homes in some villages, such as Bethlehem and Judea. And in the villages, you find some parents have lost all their children, or they themselves die. Personally, I have visited about 18 grave sites of children.
Meanwhile, authorities are convinced they will find more dead bodies and people on the brink of extreme starvation. The Kenya Red Cross Society has made a disturbing revelation. It says 112 people are missing in Malindi. Cults are not a new phenomenon, certainly not in Kenya. It's a very religious country, predominantly a Christian one. There have been sporadic instances of cult-related deaths in the past too. In most cases, the perpetrators were either not found or they were not prosecuted. That certainly helped create an air of invincibility around cult leaders. Cult radicalism also plagues several other African nations. In 2000, a church in southwestern Uganda was locked. The doors and windows were nailed shut from the outside, and it was then set on fire with hundreds of people inside. All those who died were members of a cult called the Movement for the Restoration of the 10 Commandments of God. The cult believed the world would come to an end at the turn of the millennium. And while we're all still here, the world certainly went up in flames for the people who were in that church. These cults target vulnerable people. In Kenya, the desire to meet God has landed several people in graves.